Hello and welcome to Marillion Monthly, our first of 2024. Now this month, I'm not going to be your host. The wonderful Ant Short from the Corona Diaries podcast is going to be your host, and he is going to be interviewing all of us.
Hello, and as Lucy said, my name's Ant Shaw, and I'm one half of the Corona Diaries podcast with Steve H. But fortunately, I don't have to do that today, because I would normally do that today. Fortunately, I'm here at Racket speaking to the wives and girlfriends of the band. So I suppose the first thing to do would be to ask you all to introduce yourself and give away who you're actually attached to.
Shall we have a bit of fun here?
We could do, couldn't we?
No, I'm Jo, and I'm married to Steve Rothery.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Karina, and I'm Mark Kelly's wife.
Okay.
I'm Linette, and I'm with Steve Hogarth.
I'm Fiona, and I'm Pete's wife.
I'm Lucy and I'm married to Ian.
That's great. That's nice as an introduction. And we've now matched a band member to another. You're not allowed to say significant other anymore, are you?
We're better halves.
Better halves.
We're the better
We've
halves.
now matched a band member to a better half. But come on, I want to know a bit more about you. So, first things first. What do you do when you're not being a band member's better half, or what have you done? Go on, Jo.
Okay. Various things. I used to work as a teaching assistant in a school nearby, which was I was special needs, and that was really rewarding. So I did that for 15 years, and then I'm doing various things. I'm an aspiring actress, trying to
very
get
good.
foot in the door
You
there.
are good.
You're very
thank
good.
you for that note of encouragement. Yeah. So that's an ongoing thing, which I'm sort of just learning and trying to sort of improve and do stuff.
That's quite late. That's quite late in life to get to that. If
Yes.
you don't, not you know. But I mean, so what prompted that? Well, it was a little bit, wasn't it? I mean, you know, the teaching to that. That's a bit of a.
Yeah. I mean, teaching can be a bit of a performance, but no, it's something I've always wanted to do, and just never got the opportunity to do it. So it was one of those things when children had grown up, gone to uni, and they were having such a great time. I thought, I want to have a great time too. So I decided to just volunteer and do some things with the local theatre. And then, one thing led to another, and then I got an agent. And so, it's really exciting. It's just something different.
You've got an agent?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Very professional.
That's proper.
She's got a show reel as well.
Got a show reel and everything.
Really?
Been doing some research.
I found the show reel this morning.
Jo Rothery, why haven't we seen the show reel? Could you pass that to us after this,
Didn't you
please?
tell us that?
Yeah, moving on. Anyway, on to you.
I'm happy to send the link out after
Yes.
we finish.
Yeah,
See what-
please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look.
So did you do anything like that way back, and you've come back to it, or is this fresh?
It was something I always wanted to do in the back of my mind, but
never done
I
it?
never did, no, because I got distracted
Right.
when I met Steve.
It's fascinating, Karina.
Well, not as exciting as Jo's story. I'm from the corporate world.
Okay.
I work in HR, human resources in big companies. Been
Okay.
doing it for about 25 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fairly full on then. You say large companies.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go around firing people.
Or hiring.
Oh, okay, just
Maybe both.
checking which side of the thing we were on here. Right, firing and hiring.
Yeah.
Right, okay, enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Mostly back in Brazil, and now in the last 6 years here in the UK.
Okay, and how was the transition?
Global companies. HR is very similar, it doesn't matter where you are, which country you are. And
You're
I've
happy
worked
to
with
fire people in
multiple
any
countries. Well, let's say I do most
Hiring.
hiring. Yeah.
Cool. Linette.
Well, I'm trained as a medical secretary and did that for many years back in Denmark. And after moving here, I've done a few different things. Worked a bit in a hospital when I just moved over. Worked at Oxford. counselling, students' counselling service at the university for a bit. And that's sort of taking me to now. I'm on my 3rd year studying to psychotherapist. So I'm quite busy with that at the moment.
Are you going to do psychotherapy in school or?
I would like to work with adolescents. Yeah, at some point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
When will you qualify?
I've got 18 months left.
Also close.
Yeah,
Nearly there.
yeah. Third year, and then I can build on that, which I would like to do. But yeah,
Oh, that's brilliant.
yeah.
well
But there
done.
is a lot of work.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, there is. So, but it's exciting.
Very
really
worthwhile.
exciting. Yeah, it is.
What does a medical secretary do?
Depends where she works. I work with cancer patients for most of the time. And then the last couple of years before moving here, I worked at a trauma centre. It was all in Copenhagen at the main hospital there. I thought it was getting a bit heavy, having worked so many years with cancer patients. And so I went to the trauma centre, and that was, more fast paced. And you never saw, once you left work, you didn't see that same patient the next day. So it was a bit, mentally, it was a bit easier. Mm. Yeah.
Fiona?
I worked for 35 years in the NHS as a plastic surgery nurse specialist and a Macmillan nurse. I'm also a qualified counsellor. I worked with HIV and AIDS patients in the 80s.
Wow.
I then had to take medical retirement about 5 years ago because I've got various arthritis here, there and everywhere and couldn't actually carry out what I used to do. I miss it. I miss the patients. I miss the people I worked with. I don't miss the paperwork and the hassle. But since I retired, I seem to have become the family PA and grandpuppy sitter. So I do a lot of, I get a lot of, could you just look into that flight for me? Can you have a look at that? Can you check my electricity and all this, that and the other? Because I have 2 sons who are very, very busy and 2 daughter-in-laws who seem to be very busy as well. And it's because I'm retired, apparently. Retired.
And how are you enjoying retirement? Apart from the PA bit.
Yeah, I love it because I can travel. And so instead of being at home and just thinking, oh, that'd be really nice, so-and-so's in Paris, they're in Paris, you can miss the grotty bits and you can just say, right, I'm going to Paris or I'm going to Rome.
Pick and choose.
Yeah, you can pick all the nice places, can't you? And Joe's just finding that now too, aren't you?
Yeah, that's partly why the icing.
We're stuck here with children. And you're stuck with children. You're where I was 10 years ago. No, oh God, more than that.
I can't wait to retire.
Get rid of these 5 troublemakers.
Oh, can't wait.
Now that would be an exclusive if that's what we're throwing in today.
would give up tomorrow if we won the lottery.
Would we all?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they would they? They'd
No, they
still-
wouldn't.
They
And I wouldn't
They'd
want them
still
to.
Be, they'd still
But I
be doing
would.
everything. Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. I'll just be Ian's wife.
You don't mean that.
I do mean that.
I'm with you, Lucy.
Not even
Yeah.
part-time.
No.
Not even just,
No.
No, I've never not. I've worked every day since I was 18. No, that's a lie. 20 years old when I left college. I've worked every day. Only a couple of years have I had a 2-week holiday. It's normally a week here and a week there and a week. I would like it. Maybe a year off would get it out of my system. A proper sabbatical.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's what I just did.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did it
And it was
go-
great.
Did you love it?
Yeah, I loved it. Every minute.
Yeah.
Every minute.
Exactly.
You can do it, Lucy.
Well, maybe this year when they're in the studio all year. Maybe I'll just go see her.
They'll be lost.
Yeah.
They don't know
They
what
don't
to
know what
do.
Well, I've got to do all the stuff for next year,
I know.
this year.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're always working ahead of yourself.
Because I meant to take this 3 months off this summer was in my head. After the convention's finished, I thought I'll have July, August, September off like they all did.
No.
You just went to Greece in the rain, didn't you,
I
for a
went to
week?
Greece in the rain.
As did I.
Sorry,
you loved- you
what
loved
do
the
I do?
rain.
I work for the band 23 years on March the 27th.
Oh my goodness.
Can you
Where
believe
did that
that?
time go?
How long?
23 years this March.
God, you need a medal for bravery.
And before that, I worked in a record company for 6 years, which is how I met the band. I worked at EMI Records. You know all this. Before that, I worked in an advertising agency for 5 years, and I did love working in advertising. That was really good fun.
Which bit of it, the work or the after hours bit of it?
I don't drink and I don't take drugs, and I never have. And I was working in an advertising agency in the 80s. Everyone was drinking champagne and snorting cocaine.
And you were sober as a judge in the
And
middle
then,
of it all.
and then I moved to a record company where everyone was drinking champagne and snorting cocaine. And then, no, the band's fine. But yeah, no, I literally have had 3 jobs. I literally worked in an advertising agency, then I worked at EMI Records, and now this is 23 years. I thought I'd only do this for a few years, but ended up marrying the drummer, so
Got a bit trapped into that one.
and I'd miss these lovely ladies.
Ended up marrying the drummer.
Yeah.
That makes it sound like you had to marry him off. You were struggling to find somebody. I'll take one for the team.
I'll take this one, yeah.
I'll take it on. Yeah.
No, Ian had just split up.
I know what the mileage is.
Ian
I've
had
seen the
split
service
up
history.
from
I'll
his-
have it.
Ian had split up from his wife. I'd split up with my fiance, and everyone else obviously was partnered off. And so Ian and I used to go and have dinner after work or whatever together, and slowly it turned into something else. And then Ian phoned each of the guys up individually and said, I've got to talk to you, and they all thought he was going to leave or that he was having an affair with their wife, you know, and they all Ian came
Present
round.
company included, yeah, carry on.
Ian came round and went, so Lucy and I have started a relationship, and they went, oh, is that it? No, that's fine. It'll only be a problem if you ever split up, because then we'd have to get a new drummer. So, yeah, but I mean, I could have gone and worked for other bands and earned an absolute bloody fortune. But I love what I do for your boys. And I love what I do.
Shows. It shows.
I do. I love it. And there's not been one morning where I haven't woken up and thought, but there's been mornings where I've woken up and thought, I don't want to go to work.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's
But there's not once where I've thought, I don't want to
Don't
do
like what I do.
this work. I love what I do. It's, as you all know, it's always challenging.
Yes.
It's always difficult. And I know we've had this conversation many a time, haven't we? I get double the pressure
You do.
because
You're never off, really.
I'm never off. There's an Ian to consider and a band.
and you've
to
got 5
consider.
people who don't listen to you rather than just one.
Yes.
Or
Hands,
don't remember what you said.
hands up whose other half listens to them.
Oh, down there.
Back to you, Ant.
So here's the thing then. You've all, for a while, for quite a while now, been living with, you know, because the Marillion thing is unique. And being a band and being part of a band and the touring life and the writing life and everything, it's not a normal job, shall we say, in terms of logistics of it. Has that helped or has that hindered careers? Because you've all done things that have worked around it. I mean, you said, Fiona, there that it actually helped a little bit in the early days.
Yeah, because I could just focus on me. And once I started my training the same month as they signed with EMI. So we both kind of started together. And then I could just focus, before we had children, I could just focus on me. And I just did, basically. And I had the career and I had what I wanted and I got to where I wanted. And then it was like, well, we either have children now or we don't. And we sort of leapt into that one.
Can I ask a question? Fiona and Joe, obviously you were with them at the very beginning.
Yeah.
How was your life, if you think back to 80 whatever, how has your life changed from then to now? Not just with your job, with Steve's job, with Pete's job. How has your life?
We're much more included. Much more included.
Than in the early days?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We were at times almost like a nuisance, weren't we? It's like, oh, I've got to think about them. Other times we weren't. I mean, the tour managers were always brilliant with us and sort of looked after us, but sometimes you did feel a little bit in the way.
Yeah, I don't know how that sort of is evolved, whether it's just the nature of the band becoming more of their own, their own entity with racket and everything. They are their own people
and
now.
having their families.
And having their family support, and so it's a lot nicer than it ever used to be.
Much nicer.
Even down to touring and feeling welcome, really.
Yeah.
And the pressure, because they're all doing things. Everybody's choosing to do things that they want to do now.
Well, I mean,
on the whole.
yeah, I mean, even in the last 23 years, it's changed. When I started, it was like they could go on tour for 6 or 7 weeks at a time, and now it's like
And maybe more.
no. When I started, I said
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
and then but now they're like don't want to be away longer than 3. Don't want to be away from home longer than 3 weeks.
Would you like them to be away longer than 3 weeks? It's just throwing it in there. It's a question I've got to ask. Yes, one from the end. Okay, not from the end.
times, yes.
All right, okay.
I knew we'd get a note from Joe. Knew it.
It's only because I want the remote control to myself.
So on that then, the touring thing, because that's a big part of all of your lives, because obviously, all the halves just only 3-4 weeks, but they're still getting up and going for quite a period of time. What's the bit that you look forward to when you know a tour's coming up? Because there must be a slight fringe. I mean, if I said to my wife, I'm going away for a week, there'd be a little bit of her that'd be like, oh, fantastic.
I don't look forward to it. Only if I can come.
Exactly. I was just about to say,
Yeah.
But that's
what
the
I would
good
look forward
thing.
to is the
That's the
gig.
thing
now.
I'd want to go to the. It's the gig. I want to go.
Yeah, and go to where you look at a tour and go, okay, well that works because they've got a day off there.
Yeah.
So you can fly in the day they're arriving, have the day off with them, go to the gig the next day, and then come back.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
That's
look
really
at
nice
where
when
it's
you
sunny.
can do that.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I do
Where's-
look at
where
where's
the nice
nice.
hotels and where's the weather
And is there a
nice
Christmas
and-
market?
yeah,
That's
exactly,
always a
that
good
time
one.
of year, yeah.
You didn't
we love
do
a
it
Christmas
this year.
So, as what I'm hearing, none of that's got anything to do with the other halves, though, has it? That's due to somewhere that's nice, with a nice hotel and a decent Christmas market, and where the sun's shining.
The washing at home, the cooking,
Right,
and all
okay.
that.
Yeah, you're still doing it, aren't
Right,
you?
okay.
And then it
Yeah.
arrives home
And I
in a
miss it.
heap.
In a heap.
I miss
Right.
And
it
the washing
when he's
basket
away.
goes from being empty to absolutely full.
Right, okay. So what's the bit then that you don't look for? Is there a moment when you think, oh, great, he's coming home, and then you think, oh, no, but there's a couple of days, so it's going to be horrible. There's the washing. and
Not
there's all this-
anymore.
Not anymore?
Not anymore.
I look forward to him coming home and walking the dog instead of me.
In the old days, he'd come home and it'd take a couple of days to settle.
Yeah.
That used to happen in the old days. Did you find
What's
that?
that? Sorry, Amy.
That Pete'd come home and he'd take a couple of days to sort of settle, as in he was used to having quiet and silence and room service. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Obviously, there's an element of adjustment.
Well, we were talking about it just the other day, actually, and I was saying, it's like we're meeting like that. Not so much perhaps now, but, 10 years ago or so, it was a bit like this. Steve was full of energy and, all of this. Oh, it's great, which it is. They're being adored and it's fantastic and they're doing what they love the most, probably, when they're touring. And then, they come home and you've got young children and, I was tired and done everything, day in, day out and all of this. So you sort of meet a little bit like that. So it takes, or it took,
Couple of days
a couple of days to just sort of before we met.
To become a team again.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there can be a
'Cause you
terrible
do-
clash.
Yes.
Yeah.
From where you are and where
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah,
And then it's
absolutely.
like it's how you sort of just go back to normal.
to sort of be more level again.
Yeah, about being about
Yeah.
how grounded they can be when they get back, or
Yeah.
how you can make them, how grounded you
Yes.
can make them.
There's also that thing, I don't know if the rest of you found this, but when Pete used to come back, he doesn't want to go out. He doesn't want to do anything. He just wants to be at home on his own sofa, watching whatever he's missed, having home-cooked meals and whatever. And I'm sort of like, I'd really quite like to go out for dinner, because Mark has no choice. He can't do that. Just sit on the sofa and watch TV. No. You've got young children. It doesn't work like that. But nowadays, that's what he wants to do. And we had an absolute miracle. We went to 3 gigs in a week, 2 of which were in London. And he just looked at me in the end and went, I'm so tired. It's like...
But it's that as well, isn't it? We've had that with, day off touring. I'm at home. I want to go travelling when it's holiday time because I haven't. I've been at home.
You'd have been at home.
And Steve's not really bothered about that because he's done the travelling. He just
Yeah.
wants to sit in the garden and
fiddle
I
with
get
his
that.
garden. And,
Yeah. And I get that. But so there
Yeah.
are sort of a few clashes.
Karina's just sitting there going, no choice.
No choice, yeah. I think it's different.
Cookie or whatever.
I think it's possibly a little different for you two because you want to go back to Denmark and go back to Brazil.
Yeah.
And so you're taking your children to see your family over there.
Yeah.
And even for Joe, going up north, it's slightly
But you
different.
see, that fitted
but
in.
for me, all my family are around locally, so it's
but
like...
that could fit in like that because I could take Vibes off and he could have a few days on his own or whatever while I...
Yeah,
You've done that quite a lot,
I
haven't you?
have. Yeah.
yeah.
So here's one then. What's it like when you go to a gig and look up and there's a band on stage, but it's another half that's stood there working?
I remember the first time I saw Steve on stage. It was so weird. I found it really, really weird. I don't know about you, sort of coming in later, but I thought I really had to get used to that. I remember Vibe saying at one point it was difficult to share Daddy with everybody when he was little. And it was probably a bit like that I felt to start with, that, now he's not really mine for those couple of hours. And he is a bit of a different person when he's up there. So, so that was that took a few times to get used to that.
And that's probably
But-
Steve more than anybody else, really, isn't
Perhaps,
it? Because he has to
yeah.
have
Yeah.
this larger-than-life
Yeah,
persona on stage.
yeah.
I feel proud.
I feel proud.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I know he loves what he does, and I know that's his happy place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I always enjoy watching him play because I know that he's happy.
There's certain gigs which give you a wow moment, like the first Albert Hall, where you just were like, oh my God, that's them up there. And, that takes your breath away a bit. And the other thing I love are big festivals where you're in a whole sea of people that may be seeing them for the first time, hearing other people's reactions.
Oh yeah, that's always lovely.
That's always lovely. It's like, well, I've never seen them before and they're really good.
Maybe the Royal Albert Hall, you're saying, the feeling of playing in that special place is because you and Joe, you've been with them
Forever.
for a long time, and you've seen them,
Yeah, from sweaty clubs. And
yeah,
we've
yeah.
stood at the marquee and peeled our feet
so
off
it's
the
probably
floor.
more
Yeah.
special for you too.
Probably.
Even more so.
Yeah, seeing what they've achieved and being really proud of all of them. But
I actually find it quite easy because obviously there's my husband on stage and there's also the people I work with on stage. And I haven't yet had a gig where I managed to forget that they're the person that's just, not picked up his socks off the floor or not done the washing up, and that's a lie because he always does that, but you know what I mean. And the people that have just pissed me off in a meeting or whatever, never yet, please God, don't let that happen. I managed to switch it off, and then there's just the band that I love on stage.
That's interesting.
I'm watching it probably a lot more closely than
Yeah, probably.
you might be watching your individuals. I'm watching the whole and going, hang on a minute, there's a problem with Mark, or hang on a problem, there's what's going on. Maybe a bit more, but I still can switch off, and so I'm proud of the whole lot, maybe more than my husband. I don't know, it gets a bit confusing sometimes. Who am I?
Who am I? What am I doing here?
Which role am I?
But you've always got your work hat, just even when you've got your wife hat at a gig and you're looking at the band, you've always got your work hat not far away in case there's a problem.
Yeah.
Probably more.
You know what I mean? That you're always ready.
Maybe. But I do like it. Like there was do you remember we played the outdoor theatre in Verona?
Yeah.
And it was outdoor and it was all seated, and my friends had some seats, and I went and sat with them for the whole concert. So I wasn't bothered by any of the crowd going, oh, look, it's Lucy or whatever. I could just enjoy the gig as a human.
Yeah.
And once the first couple of songs were out the way and I knew that nothing was going to hopefully blow up, I relaxed, and I loved that concert. And it was the same at the Royal Albert Halls. Once they started and I knew that the gig was going to be all right, I was in my box. I was hidden away from everyone. And I was just like, get in! Because sometimes I've been at gigs and I've been enjoying myself, and the next day I've seen photographs of myself on the internet. Look, here was the band's manager having a great time, and that's lovely. But also, I want to have a lovely time without people looking at me.
Yeah.
Just
You want
of course.
let me go, Ray!
Yeah.
Or boo.
I was really
be anonymous in the crowd, just enjoying it.
I have worn a wig.
Oh, have you?
I've worn a wig before and gone out anonymous, and I might do that again. Yeah.
I like
I'm not being big-headed here. I'm just
No,
saying
no,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
thing.
It's just
bit
so
more
you can-
incognito.
It's, you know, sorry, they'll all know your face now as well, so it's all going to happen to you, sorry.
Oh no! I always like going in the middle of the crowd and just
get the vibe.
to get the vibe and to get the feeling that seated gigs are all very well, and yes, it's nice on your back and it's nice on your feet and whatever, but you can't beat that feeling of standing with your friends in the crowd, just feeling it.
But we've also done something that none of the band have done. We've all seen a Marillion gig.
Yeah.
And none of the band have.
Yeah.
So they come off stage and go, or
Yeah.
whatever, and we're like, it was fantastic. You
Yeah.
weren't,
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah.
Have you had them say it to
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, we're all
Yeah.
all nodding. They've said that. They've
Yeah.
said, oh, it was a terrible gig.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It was bloody
Yeah,
amazing.
where were you?
And what that means
Where were
is
you?
what that means is they played one bum note somewhere.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
so critical
Or,
of themselves.
You know, or the mic pack went down for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Everyone's had a brilliant time, and
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
this was wrong. That was
Oh,
wrong.
they dreadful.
This was last night was better. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge testament to what they're trying to achieve all the time, and how, because I've been backstage and I've spoken to each one of your other halves and had the same thing of, was it okay? Did it sound all right? You know, I mean, literally, it's not something that is a one-off. It happens all the time. How was it? How was the sound out there? How was it?
yeah,
You know, how did it look?
yeah, they care.
They really, really care. So how's the sharing bit then? Because obviously, when you're in a gig, and particularly for that bit after a gig, if there are, you know, fans hanging around and what have you, you are sharing for that little bit of time. Is that hard?
No.
No, they can literally have them. They can literally have them. Take them.
Let them get the moaning out the way to somebody else.
But the thing is, we've met so many lovely, lovely people.
Yeah.
Really have. I mean, and that have then become friends as well.
Yeah.
So it's a joyful experience, you know, especially when there's people coming together just to, you know, to talk and share the love, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And coming
We've
from all
usually-
over the
We've
place.
usually got people we want to say hi to and
Yeah.
spend
Yeah,
time with.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. So
Yeah,
now-
we all get messages from that. Anyone see Karina? Anyone see Linette? Oh, she's out by the bar.
Chat.
Why aren't they
Yeah,
in the dressing
why are
room
they
with
not
me?
Yeah.
Me! I've just done a gig. Why aren't they with me? Because
I've
they're
just
with
worked
their
for 2 hours again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're with their friends having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Or you get the likes of Pete who doesn't drink, walking around with a glass of champagne for me, looking for me for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then he gives it me and I don't want it, so I give it to George, is the usual trick.
Usual, yeah.
Yeah.
So when the band are here, when they're writing, is that like a more not stable, but that you get into a routine then for a while, because suddenly you're on. Somebody's going to get up in the morning, they're going to get in the car. I mean, what, early start, 11 maybe, and
Again,
Pushing
no
it.
choice.
12.
Try 12. Yeah.
But at least there's that little block of 5 days a week that feel the same. Is that easier? Is there anything? Does that change anything, or is it just another part of the?
I think in our case, except when they're touring, we do have a routine. Doesn't matter if they are recording or not. We're just rehearsing, preparing for a tour. We do have, because I think it's because of the children. We do have a Monday to Friday routine.
No, we
So it
still
doesn't
do.
really
We still
change
do
much.
because Pete's got his studio in the garden. So he's an early riser and I'm not. So he's out in the studio by about 8 in the morning, and then he'll come in he's probably about 7:30 actually, quite often, and he'll go and do an hour's work on whatever. Then he will come in, bring me a cup of tea, and I sort of resurrect myself. And then he'll go back into the studio until it's time, whether he's doing his VAT or writing something. Then he'll come in to rack it after that. And then when you come back in the evening, your evening is your evening. But he still likes routine.
And obviously you're tied into a routine, aren't you?
Yeah, but since the pandemic, I don't work down here every day anymore, so I actually love it when he goes off to work. Literally, bring on tomorrow, because he's coming in tomorrow, which is just fabulous. But I used to, obviously, come down here every day, so I'd be here and then they'd turn up. I kind of miss not being here every day, but I really like being
Working from home.
I really like working from home.
But the good thing is that you can choose, can't you? If you feel like coming, you
Yeah.
can just come.
Yeah.
If I feel like
or
coming
just
down, I
stay at
can.
home.
Favourite Marillion song?
Oh, God.
Too many to mention.
Yeah.
Let's go with the other question then. Which one can you really not stand?
Oh, God. Oh. And that's harder as well. Do you mean the pee break song? When you're in a
Yes,
gig, you
yes,
have a pee break
yes.
song. Fruit of the Wild Rose quite often gets the pee break, to be fair.
Ocean Cloud, pea break.
I don't get Ocean Cloud either.
I do.
Do you?
I love it. On the favourite side, I quite often lean towards the songs that my kids have grown up with that have become their favourites. And because it's their favourites, I've got a soft spot for them. So Luke's favourite has always been Neverland since he was really, really small. And Callum's favourite is King. Again, since he was quite small. And I've always got a soft spot for those two songs because of that.
Yeah, Neverland's up there. for me.
Neverland's always way up there.
And This Strange Engine.
Yes,
I
yeah,
think
that's
my
definitely
favourite
up
is The
there.
Strange Engine and The Crow and the Nightingale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's lots.
Those are, yeah. So it's harder to find the P song then, isn't it, really, the P break song?
Linette, have you got a favourite?
Well, all of those mentioned really are part of that, but there are so many. See, I quite like Fruit of the Wild Rose.
yeah, I do.
But-
I don't dislike it,
No,
but when I look at a set list,
that's
that's
the one
what
you
jumps out when you think, I'm going to have to go at some point.
depends. Yeah,
I
no.
thought yours would be one of the ones that's been written about you.
Well, I didn't want to choose one of those. It goes without saying.
Oh, come on. To actually have a song written about you, I'd
Well,
be like wearing the T-shirt and everything.
Yeah, no, I'm not like that. But yes, obviously, the other half is quite nice. Isn't it?
It is nice.
I would,
Yeah.
Sorry,
that
Anne,
wouldn't
I'm
be-
doing all your
you.
questions
No,
here.
it's absolutely fine.
not for me.
Wouldn't be a pee break.
So, Linette, sorry, I've got to ask that. I'm just interjecting on Anne. So, when you see Steve sing the other half, do you every time stand there and go, "Oh, it's about me"? Is it like, what does it feel like? Because none of us have, got a song written about us.
Well, it is a bit like that, but I'm trying not to go too much, obviously. But it's a warm feeling. It's a lovely feeling. Yeah, of course it is.
Oh, I can
yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, it
Nice
is.
and
Yeah,
fluffy.
because it's not something you ever think will happen, that you will have such a lovely song written
I
about
don't think
you.
I've ever heard it.
You know,
Can we play it?
go home and put it on.
Have you, was Whatever Is Wrong With You written about you as well?
Yeah, some of that.
Yeah.
All my little
Whatever is wrong with you is all right with me.
it's all those little quirks, I hate.
Which we've all got.
I hate tin foil. If you cut into a tin foil dish or tray, I can't stand it. That's one thing.
It's like that with polystyrene.
He thinks that I'm crazy. He laughs at that.
Oh,
I
we've all
know,
got
but what a
funny
lovely
stuff.
song.
But that's it, yeah. So it's all of those little
What a
quirks.
lovely song. No, very jealous. But the closest I've got to it was too long a story, but you know the thing that me and Ian have got about It's Bin Day Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And that fan in America, Chuck, had written a song called It's Bin Day Tomorrow, and he sent it to Steve, and Steve actually played it and sang it on his
Podcast.
Corona Diaries podcast. And so
you have a bit of
and I was
song.
like, if you told me that when I was, however many years ago, the lead singer of Marillion would be singing a song about my It's Bin Day Tomorrow thing that I do with my husband. It's all very odd, but it made me go, oh, and that's not even about me.
Very proud of your bin, eh?
No, but it is. It's not. It's something I never thought that would happen. So it is. It's
Well, Steve wrote a song for me. That was his chat-up line. That was his. He wrote me a piece of music, I should say. A song implies, lyrics and everything. But yeah, he wrote me a piece of music. You know when you used to do mixtapes, like for each other? So Steve had done me a mixtape. And right at the end, there was like this long gap. So you think it's over. And then there was this beautiful piece of music at the end, which he'd written on Joe. So. And then that got put into Misplaced Childhood.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, he asked me if it would be okay if he put it in Misplaced Childhood, so it did. It got
Which
there.
bit? Which bit?
It's the Misplaced Rendezvous. Is the bit that the musical bit that goes into that Fish sings over. The bit is getting late. So every time that comes on, I'm like, that's my.
We're missing out, Karina. We've just written about my bin.
There's this 35-minute bass solo that's been written for you, Fiona.
He does actually write more than bass.
Mark can play piano and sing.
He could.
We need a song. I'm just going to look at the camera for a moment.
Can I have a chat
Mark
with him?
Kelly, could you write a song for Karina, please? Sing it and little keyboards. Thank you very much. Look at that beauty.
So, Lucy, you avoided answering the favourite Marillion.
Care.
Right.
Oh, is it?
Care, it's perfect. Lyrically perfect, musically perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, fine. So 2 years ago, that can't have been your 3 years ago, it can't have been your
Real
favourite song.
Tears for Sale.
Okay, so
that's
how
a
many
goodie.
years?
That is a goodie.
Next, 2 years before that.
Yeah, go on then.
Estonia.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Estonia was
Yeah,
there
yeah,
for a
yeah.
long time.
And now they keep putting Estonia and Care together, and I've spent
Beyond
my time
You.
mopping up.
Beyond You was my favourite before that. Just going back a few albums. Season's End, title track. 100 Nights. Holidays, and then Season's End. And I could tell you the Fish Era ones as well.
Well, you might as well while you're on a roll.
Fish Era ones was Cinderella Search.
Oh, yes.
We had that conversation
Yeah.
earlier.
You've sang it.
Eh?
You sang it about.
I did. I sang it to you before we I was telling them I'd love to hear Steve sing the whole thing. He never will. He sang the first half once, but he never sang the final half, and I'd love to hear him sing that. Such a pretty song. And Fugazi, the title track, didn't like the album, love that song, because I like bouncing up and down. There you go. That was my
Comprehensive,
short,
wasn't it?
concise
Comprehensive.
answer.
Comprehensive.
Comprehensive answer.
A couple of quick house questions or family questions or what goes on in the house, right? So, division of labour in the house, okay? So, do we have husbands that paint
Is there one?
and decorate and where's the split?
And I think there is in Karina's.
Who cooks? Who decorates? Who? Come on.
I cook, he makes porridge and tea, and
I
that's
cook.
about as far as it goes.
We cook.
I cook.
We cook together.
We cook.
You cook together?
Yeah.
Okay, you cook
Yeah,
together.
we often cook together. And stuff.
I cook.
You cook.
He'll come and help. Like he'll stir stuff and chop stuff, but
That's not helping, is it? Somebody puts everything in and I'll just come and...
No, it's
Yeah.
like barbecuing, isn't it? You
No,
know,
he doesn't
the
do that
men,
either.
they stand there and
They
just
turn, don't they?
Yeah, but
turn
Pete
the
doesn't even
burgers
do
and then
that.
oh gosh,
Yeah.
you know, they're really tired.
I'm supposed to be resting because I worked for 3 hours yesterday.
To say he cooks more than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
what about you?
And we
Do you
cook
cook?
every
I
day.
cook.
Assuming
I'm
you
the
cook,
one that's
you're the
cooking.
cook.
Steve
Yeah.
is good at making. He's making a mean chili, and omelette.
So he's like Pete, he's got speciality dishes, but
you
that's
know,
it.
yeah, the chili is.
When those speciality dishes come out, how much chaos is created?
Oh, none.
None.
Because he's got OCD about mess.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Well, we have chaos
Yeah, we have
every
chaos.
day.
We
So
live
he
in chaos.
cooks and I,
and you.
clear up
tidy up behind
after
him.
him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cook, Ian cleans up, so that's the rule.
Yeah,
Division of labour. I
Yeah.
cook, he cleans.
We have blue jobs, pink
Fair
jobs,
enough.
and purple jobs as well.
I need to know what a purple job is, but I'm
Something
slightly
that
scared
both of
to
us
ask.
do.
Oh right. Okay.
Oh,
Fine.
is it? Now,
Fine.
Steve he's good at tidying up afterwards, after dinner,
Right. Okay.
and he hoovers the stairs.
Pete hoovers.
Just the stairs.
Just the stairs, nothing else, just
No,
the stairs.
Just the stairs.
But your stair carpet doesn't have edges,
No,
so he's not even got to go in the.
He's only got to go up the middle.
he's
Got
just
the middle.
yeah. That's what he does.
Does the dog go upstairs?
Oh yeah.
So it's dog hair on the stairs.
Yeah.
the
And
hoovering.
yeah, all sorts of crap.
Have we all got pets? Somebody got pets?
I've got two cats.
We
two
have
elderly
fish, if you
cats.
can consider fish pets.
Right. Okay.
That's all.
I've
Don't know
got
how
two
what you
elderly
read
cats
into you
and
having
two
fish, but anyway,
grandpuppies.
carry on.
You haven't got any, have you, Joe?
No.
No.
What does date night look like, or date day,
What's
or
one
date
of them?
afternoon? What? Right. Okay.
No, that's harsh. That is harsh. I guess it's when I managed to drag him out for dinner.
Yeah. Well, we've been hearing
Yeah,
that.
dinner is nice.
Yeah.
Or cinema,
Cinema.
or a gig.
We tend to go out with the family a lot
Right.
because our two kids don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
So we tend to go out for dinner with the family quite regularly, actually. Do a lot with our family.
Every night is date night.
Really?
Friends. So with or without Charlie.
I don't know what date night means, because I haven't got kids, so that's probably what a date night is, isn't it? It's a night without the kids, so I haven't got
No,
kids.
it's a night where you go out and like you would before
Do like
you were
going out for
married.
dinner
Yeah. When you're
or
20
go
years
to
in and you
gigs?
remind yourself that you used to do things.
No, we never did 20 years
Never
ago.
did 20 years ago.
Now Ian goes to a gig and you walk the
We're
dog.
very much homebodies.
Yeah. Because home life seems really important to all of you.
Yeah.
We like going out for dinner without the kids and cinema, as you said, and sometimes we go to gigs
Yes,
together
like
as
a
well.
gig.
Yeah, and we like, travelling, I suppose. It's not a date night, but
It's nice,
We like to
nice
go
to
out.
go out for dinner. Then
Yeah,
you don't
it
have to
is.
cook.
You don't have to
I mean,
cook or
that's
wash
a
up.
made thing, isn't it?
Or
Yeah.
shop for it.
Exactly.
It's win-win.
And in terms of the music, were you all, I suppose, Karina, best to ask this to you first. Were you a Marillion fan before you met Mark?
no,
Right.
no, not at all. And I don't know half of the songs that they mentioned here, their favourites or their least favourites.
You would if you heard them.
Yeah, I think
Homework.
I've got a bit of homework to do. No, I wasn't.
Okay.
No, I haven't heard of them until I met Mark.
Okay.
Well, I
But
met them all.
are you a music fan generally?
Yeah, I am. I'm an oldie. I like the 70s and the 60s mostly. Yeah, and I like Marillion. I have to say that, don't I? No, I do. I do. I
You
do.
don't have to.
No, you don't.
No, but I do.
Right.
I genuinely do. I've learned to like them. And I like most of the
Force
songs
fed.
that I've heard. Yeah.
See, I was with Pete before he joined Marillion.
So
So,
you didn't have a choice.
no, not really.
No.
I went from a pop band, from gigging with a pop band who didn't have a lot of crew, and so I'm very good at plugging in lights and winding cables. Did a lot of that. And then he joined the band, and then it was a bit sort of like, right, well, I'm joining this band. I've just auditioned for them, and I'm going up to Scotland for 6 weeks. And I was like, right, okay, off you go. And that was before they signed with the MI.
Joe, were you with
I was a huge fan.
Were you with Steve not before he was in Marillion?
No.
Oh,
I met Steve at a gig, a little tiny pub in 1982. Yeah, and he doesn't remember that though.
Right.
I mean, he didn't. I saw Steve, but obviously in Marillion, and he wasn't aware that I was there. But then, yeah, over time, he saw me several times because I kept going back to see the gigs.
So you were a groupie then?
I was not a groupie at all. That is so outrageous.
And she was so young then as well.
I was a big. I just loved.
big
She
big
was a
fan.
fan,
Yeah,
not a
there's a big
groupie.
difference.
Yeah, it's a very big difference.
Right,
Yeah,
I stand corrected.
Yes, yeah.
one of
Groupie
those-
has
I
got
feel
all the
I-
wrong connotations.
I feel terrible now,
Good.
but it'll pass.
The first thing my dad said to Steve when he met him the first time was, he was sort of almost elbowing me out of the way, and he said, "Do you have any hula hula girls in your band?" He was just interested in knowing if there was any girls then in the back. That was my dad. So it's not like that.
around.
Is it?
No. So you were definitely into the music. The music
Yeah.
came first.
Well, simultaneously.
Well,
Yeah.
well, no.
I
first,
definitely
didn't it?
was into the music.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the kind of music I listened to when he
Right,
joined the
okay.
band.
So how was it to start working for them then, if you were a bit of a fan?
Oh, it's funny when I see, met up with a couple of people I went to school with. That I was obsessed with Marillion. I used to draw all the gestures and stuff on my notepads, and they say, "So what do you do for a job now, Lucy?" I manage this band. Anyone we've heard of? Marillion. Isn't that band you loved at school? Yeah. No, dream come true. Oh, so what does your husband do? Oh, God. It's the drummer. Oh. It's not how it worked. It's not how it worked. So no, I was really excited to come and work for them because I was working at EMI and I was working with Coldplay and Blur and Robbie Williams. I loved them all, and to be honest, if any of them had offered me a job, I would have gone because I didn't want to work in a record company anymore. I did want to do management, and I would have gone to work for any of them. But Marillion offered me the job, and I was like, well, yeah. In retrospect, no. And I was really excited because they were my favourite. They were my favourite band. So it was, really exciting. And I didn't get the bubble burst. They were different to what I thought they would be as human beings, but they weren't horrible human beings. So I didn't get a bubble burst and go, "Oh my God, what have I done?" Which is why I'm still here. 23 years later, because that would have been awful to meet all of your other halves and gone,
Yeah.
They all have their moments. They all have their moments where I just want to shake them and put them against the wall, as we probably all do.
Yeah, but probably any other artist would have their moments as well. wouldn't they?
Exactly, but these
And
five...
just generally people.
These 5 men are just extraordinary human beings that I'm proud to work for, and I'm so pleased that they have extraordinary other halves because it's such a delight. It would be horrible to sit there and go, "Oh God, Steve's Rothery's wife." Oh,
It would not have got to do with her today.
It wouldn't be pleasant.
No.
It wouldn't be pleasant. They're extraordinary people with beautiful families and getting all emotional, but it's true. And this family extends into the fans because we all have interactions with the fans and we've all made friends with fans around the world. So we've actually got bigger families as well because of this band and because of what they do, and it's all a big extension. And if one part of the machine was not a good person, it
would change the whole.
It would change
setup,
the whole
wouldn't it?
dynamic. As we said, they all have their moments, but they're good, decent human beings, and that's very much so. It's a delight. I mean, if people think Ian, for example, is quite
Aloof?
aloof and quiet, and he's actually very funny.
Very dry.
If you could sit next to him on the sofa and watching him watch Planet Earth bawling his eyes out because a falcon has just eaten a baby turtle, and he's sitting there crying his eyes out, and I think they're all nodding, going, yeah, Mark does the same, Steve does the same. They're beautiful human beings, and sorry if that sounds really sappy, but that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And they're all
They all
really,
care about
they're all
each
really
other.
funny as well. As they've all got this very dry, very sort of almost sarcastic, witty sense of humour.
There's a good sense of humour. Yeah, all of them have got a good sense of humour. They're all caring, funny. They all care about each other.
do,
They all
yeah.
moan about
They
each
do.
other, but they all care.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's a real family. And
It
that's,
is a real
it's really
family.
special. We're really blessed.
Yeah.
I mean, picking up on something you said there, Lucy, I don't think it works without the extended family. I think, and I certainly would include everybody here as well in that.
Oh, Mike, Tim, Rich, Stephanie, Mark Kennedy, everyone.
Yeah.
I don't see how it goes the distance without that, because everybody's got to be comfortable with it. It's got to work for everybody. It's got to work with the other half of family life as well, because if it doesn't, then something has to give at some point. So we are where we are because everything kind of works.
And all the children have come to gigs since they were really small, and it's just part of their lives. Because I remember one of my children saying to me, one of his friends had said, "So what's it like having a musician for a dad?" And he just said, "I don't know any different. How do I know it any different to you having an electrician for a dad? You know, it's just what your dad does."
Yeah, and it's all about the support that everyone gets from everyone else, and you know, and that hopefully we provide and give the guys the opportunity to do what they do, and like everybody else here, it's really it's pretty special.
So basically what we're saying is without you lot there just wouldn't be a band, would there? That's what we're kind of saying. Everything good that's come out of it kind of they wouldn't be as
Behind every
nice,
great man
as
is a
professional,
great woman.
as I can't think of a better way to stop than that revelation really.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.